So, hello everyone. My name is Artur Zubkov from LOWSSKILLS squad, and today I'll be presenting to you the final product of our work. For now, of course, as it still has to be majorly improved. So, with that being said, let us start. To begin with, I want to ask you a rhetorical question. How many of you have ever used clinics, hospitals, or any other healthcare organizations? You don't need to answer, since I'm pretty sure that everyone has. If so, have you ever noticed its drawbacks? For instance, long queues, far distances to the nearest hospital that would satisfy your needs. Or, for example, honestly speaking, I myself can't stand having an appointment where a consultation lasts for 5 minutes and then the doctor has to spend half an hour filling blankets and doing paperwork. I may assume that doctors are not happy either. So do we really have to endure such inconveniences? I don't think so. These things have to be renovated, changed, improved. In fact, first hospitals were established long time ago, even before paperwork thing. Over the time, they have drastically changed, and now it's time for them to be changed once again. We started working on our product by identifying the customer base of our service. Or in other words, those who are not satisfied with current state of medical organizations, but still have to deal with it on a daily basis. So there are three archetypes of our clients presented by three different people. On the right corner of the slide, you can see Fedorovich Konstantin, who is a bodybuilder and is generally interested in the state of his health. On the opposite side of the slide, there is someone called Sherbakov Jan. His life habits require different kind of insurances as he regularly takes part in public events. And finally, we have Maluk Nikita right in the middle, who is our most typical customer. He just has some problems with his health and need to be regularly consulted. So what can we offer them to make their lives at least slightly better? It might sound too complicated when all we really have to do is to reduce time and energy consumption of clinic attendance. And we're eager to present you a simple yet universal solution we had come up with. And its name is AskLab, which we're seeing as a service that would partially eliminate the need of going to hospital, saving the most valuable resource of our customers, their time. And that's how it works. I would like to present you some of its main functionality, among which we have symptom tracker, online shop, news, and online consultations. But let's break it down one by one. First on the list, we have news option. There is nothing significant to say about it, apart from the fact that we will parse news from different sources using a Python bot. One of the most crucial functions is online consultations. We will have it in three different types, one of which doesn't even require a doctor interaction, but we'll cover it just a bit later. And now there are a couple of other types which are not that exciting, but still compulsory to every healthcare organization. First goes a classic online consultation with built-in messenger, which client can use to get diagnosed per online meeting system or per chat. And the last provides online booking of the appointment to a real clinic. Okay, another function which will be convenient to have is online shop, where a patient can buy a wide range of medicine. The recommendation section will automatically give you stuff from doctor's prescription, as well as their description. And the last but not the least is symptom tracker. It used to be our initial idea. It will help users to stay fit and healthy by providing a calendar where you can type in the symptoms you have, and they will be calculated, and in the end, a recommendation and the results of your exercising, in case you're a sportsman, will regularly be sent to you. Speaking of means that we've used on our way to creating the service, I think it's important to mention at least some of them. First, we had a SQL database to store a table of symptoms and sicknesses. To manage the database, we used a script written on Python. We've also used Figma to create a prototype and the API server, which was also manually written using a Python programming language. So it's all by me for now. It was a pleasure to give you a speech. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for sharing your project with us. So, are there any comments, feedback, questions from our experts or from the participants, from tutors, basically from everybody? No questions. Then maybe I would actually like to ask, oh, there is something. What about a regulatory part? Yeah, and that was actually my question too. I wanted to ask you about like GDPR. You probably have heard about it and all of the sensitive stuff, because your health, it's very sensitive in a way. How would you make sure that it would not like leak anywhere and be still legal to, for example, just work with your own health data?
So we will give results of a symptom calculation using different algorithms, and of course it can give you a false result, or there can be a failure. So we will use these disclaimers, but I think that the rate of right result would be pretty high. So it's there is a risk of getting false recommendation even in common clinics, when doctor can misunderstand something and give you a false prescription. So it's like normal.
All right, thank you. And there is a question from tutor Olga.
Hi, thank you. It looks really impressive, and I would say like really wide. So I'm just wondering, wasn't you thinking about to develop like all the parts separately, like starting with the one and going to another? Actually, I like the most the idea of recipes, like suggesting some medicine, and they could somewhere appear in my smartphone, you know, like not writing the notes and not trying to remember. This one I really liked, but wasn't you thinking, you know, to develop it step by step, or like to develop all the project like simultaneously at once? So looks really big to me.
Yes, that's a good question, and we've actually developed it in different parts. For example, the first part, a major part to be developed is symptom tracker, and then we had different ideas. We've created customer journey maps and looked at it and covered different problems of our customers and creating additional functions.
Thank you.
All right. So I would like to ask if there are any other comments or questions from the auditorium. Oh yeah, Sasha, you're welcome.
I'm sorry, it's me again.
No, I always love your questions. Come on, they're always
thank you so much. How do you protect personal data?
So yeah, that's actually a good question. We will have all the data stored in our SQL database somewhere in the servers, and of course we will use protection at some kind, like different passwords and different methods of coding and encoding of the information, I would say.
I need the help of a technical expert here, someone who actually understands the technical details here more than I do. But I'm pretty sure that from a regulatory part, there's supposed to be some sort of regulations on how you're supposed to do that. Have you actually looked into that? Have you checked like the way how it's supposed to protect it? Because there was a question about GDPR already, but like, you guys working with the health data is extremely regulated. I don't know how much you looked into it, but like there's a big problem around the health tech that you need to be extremely cautious, because of course it's something extremely personal, and like if there's going to be a leak, because I think that what you're doing is great, so I don't want something to happen to it, to your product, to your startup. So like, please be sure that you know what you're doing in terms of the protection of the personal data and health data and everything around that. But just as like suggestion, comment / question.
Yeah, that's actually a valuable point. Yeah, LOWSSKILLS, thank you so much for your presentation. I think that many questions have been asked and many additional information that you might think of a little bit later was also provided to you. So thank you once again.